first thing that I want to cover is I want to cover essentially what trust law is. But in the order I'm gonna do it is a little different. I'm actually gonna break down the parties to a trust. All right. So there are 3 parties to any trust. All right. So the first party I'm gonna cover, there are 3 names that this party could be listed as, but they all are synonymous. They all mean the same thing. The terms are grantor, trustor, or settlor. All 3 of these terms mean the same thing, which is the trust creator. And the trust creator has equitable title, has what's known as equitable title. And the trust creator must also be mentally competent. Okay, so that's very important. If Amor could we just get a definition checked out, the term equitable title? Can we get somebody to read a definition on that? I believe Brother Jason had read it last week.
Yeah, Islam.
Oh.
First I rise and give praise to the Most High, give honors to all divine prophets, greet you Moors in peace, and give honors to our prophet of the last days and time, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace. Equitable title: a person's right to obtain full ownership of property or property interest. That's the short definition there. Could get you a longer one.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. So it basically means you got ownership, complete ownership, full ownership, total ownership. All right. So this is the person who created the trust. All right. So to put things into context, just give you a little bit of an end game. We're going over what trust law is and how it works. And then we're going to establish how the Prophet Noble Drew Ali established a trust for us, and how that works. So as I'm going through it, I'm going to be filling in the blanks. So the person in the position of the grantor, the trustor, or the seller, or the person who created the trust is obviously Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He's the trust creator. Okay? So now we're going to move on to the next party of a trust. Now this person is known as the trustee. And the trustee executes the trust and performs the fiduciary duties to the benefit of the beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries, that's the third party. We're going to cover that in a second. We're going to kind of decompress what I just said. The trustee executes the trust. What do I mean by that? The terms of the trust are established in whatever meaning that the trust is created. We're going to explain how different ways of trust can be created. But for now, the trustee is, again, perform fiduciary duties. The fiduciary duties are the responsibilities of the trustee. The trustee must do these things according to the terms of the trust. All right. Now and he does it not for the benefit of himself. Thank you, Brother Jeff. So fiduciary duty, he looked up a definition, is lawful responsibilities. So it's not for the benefit of the trustee. It's for the benefit of the beneficiaries. Now, an individual or one, you could be in more than one party. You can be in 2 parties. You're not going to be in all 3, but you can be in a combination of the 2 parties. Okay, so you could be trustee, beneficiary, trustor, trustee, trustor, beneficiary, trustee, beneficiary. You could be in any other combination of those, but you won't be all 3. You'll understand in a second. Okay, so the trustee has legal title and authority to hold and manage all property and assets. So, Brother Jason, if you could get that definition for legal title, if you have that handy, that'd be excellent. So so now we see that there's 2 types of title when it comes to trust. Okay, so we got the equitable title, which is the sole ownership. That's the trustor, or whatever, one of those terms you prefer to use. But the trustee has legal title. Okay, And the legal title implies he has the authority, he or she has the authority to hold and manage all properties and assets. Okay, it's gonna make sense. You ever heard of trust fund babies? Okay, these are people who are going to inherit a lot of wealth. So their father, their grandfather, set up a trust for them, and they have people manage that trust, that wealth, until that person comes of age, when they or whatever terms they may want them to come of age. They may want them to perform some other tasks like graduate school or something like that, and then they can inherit the trust and have equitable title and control of that trust to change the terms at will. Okay. So I guess Brother Jason, he wasn't able to get legal title. If anybody else could find that term, legal title.
Islam, I have a definition. Sheik.
Okay, you got it? Excellent.
Yeah. Legal title is the ownership of property that is enforceable in a court of law, or one that is complete and perfect in apparent right of ownership and possession, but that, unlike equitable title, carries no beneficial interest in the property.
Islam. All right, so it's no beneficial interest for the trustee in the property. The legal title, again, is like
Islam, Sheik, not to cut your thought. I wanted to see.
Islam.
Yeah, I wanted to make an analogy, and where I think it's similar. Wouldn't it be similar to like if you're paying, say, a car, say you're in the process of buying a car, you're making payments, so you will have, I don't know, I'm making a comparison, like say an equitable title, because you have the right, you're in the process of the right to own it, but if you don't really own it full right, so you don't really have the legal title because you didn't finish your payments.
That's a good example, only you got the terms backwards. You got legal title right now.
Okay.
You understand? You have legal title. So when the police pull you over, your name is on paperwork. They can't question you where you're going or how you got the vehicle. It's very simple. You have legal title of it. But the dealership, the bank, whoever actually owns the property that you're traveling around in until you pay off in full. So that's very similar concept. Islam, Brother Jeff, go for it, Mo.
Islam. First I rise to my highest height, giving praise to Father God Allah. I give honors to all prophets. And the last prophet these days, the time Noble Drew Ali, I give honors where honors due. I give honors to each and every one of you. My name is Jeffrey Ron Gideon. I greet y'all in peace. So I just wanted to say, so the trustee basically for legal ramifications, signing everything, they're the owners, but they didn't create the trust. So you can own it, but you're not the true, like the creator stays in the background, right? If I'm not mistaken. So you could be like the forefront person in the front, or you dealing with titles, but the true owner is basically the creator, which is it separates like something like the balance of powers. So they don't sign nothing. The creators don't sign nothing. The owners do. They give them the power to do that. But the owners do it on behalf of the beneficiaries in the trust. Islam.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, to distinguish the trustor and the trustee in the terms of ownership. Let's try to make another analogy. It's not exactly like this, right? Say you open a business. So you own this business. You're the person who owns the business, right? But you hire a CEO to run your corporation, okay? So the CEO will have legal title. They're making decisions day to day. They don't need to consult you. They basically run the business, right? You as an owner, you could be hands off where that person is just has complete control over the business. However, you still own the business. Okay, so that's the situation with the trustor. Now the beneficiary is going to inherit the ownership. All right. So say that we're getting ready to get into beneficiary, but say the owner of that business was to pass away. Okay, we're gonna get into the difference between the trust and the will too. Okay, say that, but they're very similar. Well, we'll just say it right now. The difference between the trust and the will is that during the execution of the trust, the trustor is alive during that time. The will is executed after death, after the person is deceased. Okay, so that's the difference. So say that person owned the business and he passed away. Who does it go to? It goes to the beneficiary. It doesn't go to the CEO running the company, because a lot of rappers are like, "Yo, I'm the CEO." That's not the biggest thing to be. Like, it's the owner that is the person who has equitable title. Okay, so the CEO has legal title. They'll be managing all kinds of negotiations on behalf of the company. All right, so does that clear it up a little more? Is y'all more following me? Because I don't want to go any further without y'all more following me. I'm gonna take the silence as we on one accord. Excellent. So really quickly before I continue, I forgot to establish the origin of a trust. So in terms of Western education, they say the origin of trust, of the concept of trust in law, originates from feudal Europe, feudal England, where say a lord was away fighting a war. Islam. Say a lord was away fighting a war, and that lord, had property. They had animals, they had land, they had farmland, they had servants, they had something that needed to be managed.